Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. Coach Tracy here, welcoming in 2024. What? Anyway, just want to put out a podcast here. Welcome everyone to a new year. And just a heads up again, I used to do these live. I'm still treating them live, but you are actually watching a recorded or listening to a pre-recorded podcast. But I wanted to still go ahead and just do these like they're live. So anything can happen. And I know my kitty has been chatting with me already, which you may have heard. But anyway, I wanted to give a heads up there. But also, I had some people, some listeners, several of them actually send me some requests on what they would like me to talk about for this new year. So some of the requests were about happiness, significance of the new year, reconciling regrets of 2023, allowing oneself a clean slate, setting realistic goals for the new year, celebrating successes of 2023, and of course, also planning, your actions, the first actions that you could be doing in 2024. So, know that the holiday season can create a lot of different emotions, and then having a new year can create different emotions of opposite polarities, right? And so I was trying to think of how I could best, answer these questions or give something, a tidbit of my thoughts on these topics. And the first one I wanted to bring up is, again, in my book that Ingrid and I wrote, we have what's called that life radar. And I'll bring it up again. There's the different aspects of our life that basically affect and impact each other. And that life radar that I have, it talks about, we talk about physical fitness, joy, relationships, finances, creativity, career, spirituality, education, your home environment, health, food, home cooking, that kind of a thing, and our social life. And at the center, I've got my little circle here. At the center, really, the concept of this discussion I had with one of my listeners was, well, gosh, do all this come together and as we put all these things together, create happiness? And I thought, yeah, that might be true. And the conversation was, gosh, is that what really everybody would like, is happiness? And then as you coordinate all these aspects of your life, that those could come together to make a happy life. So I found that intriguing to me, and wanted to talk about that as a thought process that you could go into 2024 with. I'm a strong believer that we choose happiness, and that we choose joy. And again, just everything that's happened in my life, not just in the last, since Dave's passing, but before then, in other situations that I've faced and I've had the opportunity to grow through, I realized that when I choose joy, when I choose happiness, not in an aspect of burying my head in the sand and I don't acknowledge that something has happened, but I choose to emulate joy, emulate happiness, integrating that into the rest of my life, that the challenges that I do face, I believe that they are then manageable, no matter how difficult. And so Another book I was reading, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's a very good book. And then also someone that will be coming up in an interview soon, Terry L. Fossum. He wrote The Ox Cart Technique. It's the number one bestseller right now. It's a very good book. Again, discusses your mindset and your attitude. And so when I bring the thought of happiness and joy into my thoughts about, again, I was asked to talk about the significance of the new year, reconciling regrets, allowing a clean slate, realistic goals, celebrating success of 2023, and planning first actions and the steps of 2024. And I think one of the first steps you could take going into a new year is choosing joy and happiness. And realizing that really, honestly, you don't have to give away your joy and happiness away to anyone, to any situation, to food, alcohol, relationship, a football game. I have to say that at the time of this recording, we're right in the middle of college national football. Anyway, and we're also heading into playoffs for football. So, okay, I am a football fan. But you don't have to give up your joy and your happiness to anything outside of you. And that's been a really significant lesson for me. If I look back on just my mindset growing up as a child, and again, oh my gosh, going through school and learning skill sets and how to get along with people, or how do you set your goals? How do you become who you are? How do you live as you truly are and don't, change to fit someone else? So again, just the concept that the first thing I believe that you could do in planning your first action steps for 2024 is choosing to have a joyous and happy perception of life, and realizing that it is so valuable, and that you don't have to give up that for any situation around you at all, ever. So that's my thought on planning for the first action steps of 2024. My thoughts on the significance of the new year. It's been interesting. I've had a little bit of a challenge the last 2 years, but I'm giving myself forgiveness and just realizing that I'm in new territory. But significance of the new year, I guess, we think of it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to reassess, going back on the year prior, even years before that, and looking at your successes. One thing I like to do is to look at what went well, no matter if it was big or small. What things happened that you had a goal for last year and it worked out, or something that showed up in your life in 2023 and went well. And what do you believe that you did action-wise to help create that success? And acknowledging those things. I have said in other podcasts about what skills that you use in one area of your life for success, those skill sets can probably and most likely be utilized in other areas if we allow those skill sets to shine in those areas, right? So, so when you look back, what went well? What did you overcome? What goal did you achieve? And give yourself a pat on the back for that. Also, which it's a little hard to do this, look back on maybe what didn't go very well. Um, do you, again, I was asked to talk about, reconciling regrets. So maybe what happened last year that you feel did not go as you had hoped. And again, reassess that. What do you believe created the miss or whatever it was that, didn't go so well, whatever goal it was and that you had that did not you know, arise the way you had hoped. It could be, again, anything at all that fits into this life radar. Again, relationships, finances, anything, career, whatever it might be. And then looking at yourself and your actions alone and in that situation. And although there's that fine line of something that happens to you that's based on something outside of your control. We can't control other people's decisions. We can't control, what happens to us a lot of the times. And it's just said a lot, but we can't control our viewpoint of it, the way we handle it, the way we perceive it to be. And the other thing is we can take 100% responsibility for the way we react or handle situations. So again, in your successes and your misses, go ahead and really look at how you probably created it in some of your actions. Take 100% responsibility. That's good and bad, none of us are perfect, and we make mistakes and we do things, and that, and mistakes are great stepping stones for learning, right? And navigating life. So again, in that concept, if someone wanted me to talk about reconciling regrets, just see what happened. And then, we can carry that weight of regret every day and just, make it impact every aspect of our lives. And that's a heavy thing to carry. Or we can go ahead and have compassion, understanding. Maybe we've done something that's hurt someone else and we realize it, and we regret it. Maybe we can do something to reconcile that and be open to the response of the other person, and then moving on. And we can look at a failed diet and reconcile that. But the thought of carrying those regrets forward into 2024 will not serve you. It's not going to serve you or anyone else in your life. And you carrying, maybe you've seen it's a TED Talk, I think, that has this person carrying this massive backpack and of regrets and weight of shame or whatever it was. It doesn't do us any good to do that. All right. It doesn't give us opportunity to make things, to look at things as a lesson, so you failed a goal, what did you learn through that failure that then you can say, maybe I'm just not going to do it that way next time. I still want to achieve whatever that goal was. And I've learned some excellent lessons, right? So, so in that regard of reconciling those regrets and allowing yourself a clean slate into 2024. And the brain is interesting. Our brain and our bodies are very habit oriented, and we can unknowingly develop a habit of feeling like we just don't know how to feel without regret, or we don't know how to feel without stress, or we don't know how to even be without those emotions and those chemicals running through our body. Regret and stress create these chemicals in our body. So when we think about going into 2024 with a clean slate, maybe a really really excellent thing to add to your 2024 is how to catch that know when you're feeling like that, being aware of what that trigger is. I've talked about this before, and learning to release it. Okay. And not have your heart all bundled up and stuff over things that may have happened 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, last month, whatever it might be, right? But breathing through it and realizing that your mind and your body will be better by releasing sadness, regret, as those emotions come up, and letting them go. Not to say they're not going to come back, they're going to, but you can recognize it and be okay knowing that you feel a specific way, and then releasing it. So maybe 2024 can be your clean slate year. Yeah. The other thing was, someone wanted me to talk about setting realistic goals for the new year. So a lot of different people have different thoughts on this, but it is true. We are habitual creatures. And we can, by not, in a good way, create really amazing habits that help us. And then unknowingly, we create a habit or a goal, no habit that supports us, one that doesn't support us. So one thing that I would say is, in terms of realistic goals, if you say you think you want to go to the moon, you better be training to be an astronaut. Okay. That's an unrealistic goal if you are not completely going through the NASA program, doing every single thing that you need to do. That is a very unrealistic goal. But you can have goals. I would write down everything. I would just have fun, brainstorm, and then you can backtrack. And then you can break down, okay, with my life and my schedule, and I don't want to hear I don't have time, okay, because that's just an excuse. Everyone has time. We all have the same amount of time in a day, and I know you've heard that before. But you're going to write down that, but what is your lifestyle like? Do you have family at home? Do you not? Do you have kids in school? Do you not? What kind of a job do you have? Those types of things. And if you have a goal, really logistically plan it out on your calendar, plan out time slots. And if you start to see where, oh my gosh, this goal might just not be right for me right now, with everything going on, I'm going to pick something that will actually fit in, that actually could maybe support that goal for the following year, that I can insert this into my life right now. So, again, realistic goals would be those that you can implement, that you're very committed to, that makes sense for what you need to do. Again, that life radar, making an assessment, taking your assessment of your life and seeing what it looks like to help you determine what goals you would want to realistically put in place. It could be a vacation, saving cash for a vacation. Maybe you don't, maybe it's saving cash to buy a house. Maybe it's, if we're talking finances, that you're overtaxed in terms of too much outgo and not enough inflow, really looking at those things, making those assessments, relationships, all those kinds of things. You want to develop a better relationship, where it can be with a friend, a relative, it could be with a spouse, a partner, and you want to improve it, then you could be looking at things like that. So, I would brainstorm, and then start bringing it into line with what you can accomplish. And if you say you don't have time, I'm going to say that is hogwash. One area you can really look at is, how much time are you on TV? How much watching a TV? I keep looking over there because my screen's over here. How much time are you spending watching and binging television? How much time are you spending aimlessly scrolling on social media? Okay, so those are areas that you can grab increment moments from. Um, and so that would be my thoughts on setting those realistic goals for the new year. Yeah, and the planning for steps, I talked about that. So I think that I've really gone over already those items that they had requested. One area I really did want to talk about too was when I mentioned, the concept of step into 2024 and choose to live with joy, with, I'm going to add the word gratitude, happiness. Outside of what happens to your life or in your life or what anyone could possibly say or do that you may not like, making that choice. And I do believe happiness and joy are a choice. And it doesn't mean it's easy to see life in that manner when things just don't go the way you hope and the way your mind and your heart has thought it should go. It doesn't mean it's easy, but you do have a choice. And so in preparation for this, I went out online and I would say do it too. Do a Google search for those that have overcome extreme, obstacles in their lives, hardship, and they chose to live with a mindset of joy, of compassion, gratitude, and to rise above their circumstances. And some, again, I just wrote a few lists down here, but Helen Keller, Gandhi, Anne Frank, Viktor Frankl, Mother Teresa. I had practiced this. This is going to drive me crazy. I practiced this pronunciation. And again, this is not edited, so I set myself up. Nick Vujicic. I think that's it. And I feel so bad. And I practiced and then I panicked. So again, I'm not perfect. My brain just totally went, no. Harriet Tubman. There's so many people that have overcome extreme hardship or dealt something very difficult in their lives, but you know what, they chose and they overcame. And so I do have I know you can do this, in the concept of making a choice for 2024 to take 100% responsibility for protecting that mindset of joy, of gratitude, and of happiness in the face of whatever comes your way. And because of that, I truly believe that then the world and everything is different, and it helps you to get through hard things. Okay. So with that, I would do if you're sitting there listening to me and saying, oh yeah, Tracy, it's easy for you to say what you're saying. You aren't me. You're not going through what I'm going through. No, I know what I've gone through. I know what my life has been, but I also can't even fathom what some of these other people have gone through. And so really, I would challenge you to take a hard look and choose joy, choose happiness and gratitude as you go into 2024. Make it a daily practice. And I truly believe that's going to help you achieve, your goals. Or if you fail, you'll be able to say, okay, that was a hard lesson. Okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure it out. That kind of a thing. So anyway, I just feel so grateful to have the opportunity to do these podcasts, to be able to still be here, breathing this beautiful air, to be able to have an opportunity to live this life, and to learn and open my heart that with anything that I think could ever possibly happen to me, I still want to practice that gratitude, and I still want to practice joy. So with that, I think that's it. That's all I got tonight. I don't need to make it a long podcast. Happy New Year. And again, I want to thank everyone that had kind of, sent over these questions for me. It was really fun to put this podcast together based on that. And again, um, yeah, I'm just going to go over it one more time. Significance of the new year. What is it for you? I recommend, joy, gratitude, new beginnings, reconcile those regrets. Do not carry regret with you. Release regret. And the other side of regret, if you're holding off doing something that you wanted to do, go, we're here for a period of time. And if it's a trip somewhere, or you want to tell someone you appreciate them, all those types of things, just do it. You don't want to be sitting there with regret. Lead with your heart and life will work out. Allowing oneself a clean slate, that goes with that regret. You just release it. Not just word is not a light one. I promise you, I practice this, and sometimes it's harder than I can imagine. But when I at least recognize it, I have an opportunity to pick joy, happiness, and compassion and gratitude instead. Set those realistic goals, brainstorm, have fun. And maybe the goal's a 5-year goal or something. Go ahead and set them, and then set out a plan. And each day has daily tasks. I'm really excited about an interview that's coming up that I've already recorded, but with Terry L. Fossum, with his book, The Ox Cart Technique. He has a really wonderful technique, and I really recommend when that podcast comes out, you definitely listen. So I think his words are going to be a wonderful launch for you as well into 2024. And again, celebrate your successes, and figure out, gosh, what did you do to make those things happen? What behaviors did you have? What did you do? And when you have those misses again, what was it that caused the miss to happen? Not about flogging yourself with I've said this in podcasts before, with a spiked whip. It's about just being able to learn, right? And being aware, being aware that you do certain things, being aware that sometimes you're short with someone you love and you hurt their feelings, and being aware that you do that, you can catch it, later. So, and then, planning those first action steps. I recommend picking first action step being choose to live through joy, happiness, and gratitude. Okay. All right, everyone. Happy 2024. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful year. Again, if you have any recommendations for an excellent guest for the show, please let me know. If you have any topic that you would like me to discuss, let me know. I loved being able to put this together based on people's input. And again, Happy New Year. I will see you soon. Okay, bye.